Do you know how you can build your own chatbot without coding knowledge using Power Platform services? Hi, this is Krupali from KnowHow Academy. So let's start with me. So let me tell you what you are going to learn in this video. In this video, you will learn how you can build your own chatbot without coding knowledge or with less amount of coding knowledge. And you will also learn how you can integrate your chatbot in Power App and you can use it. So let me show you with the simple scenario. So here, this is a chatbot project which I developed. So what this will do, when I say hi or hello to the chatbot, it will ask me for registration, and if I provide a proper detail, it will register, and also it will ask me that do you want to register for training and workshop, and it will redirect it to the particular website in which I want to register, and also it will ask a feedback at the end of chat. So let me write hi. So it is asked for please select from the following. If I'm selecting new registration, it will ask my full detail. Let's say Krupali, I'm providing my detail. Then it will ask my email ID. So I'm just providing a dummy email that then it will ask my contact number. Then it will ask my educational qualification. And it will ask me that do you want to register for training and workshop? And if I say yes, then it will give me a link on using that I can register. And also at the end of chat, it is asking me a feedback or asking me that how many star I want to give. So let's say if I'm giving 3 star, and then it will end the chat. So this type of chatbot you are going to learn in this video. Now let me tell you, this is the entire project which I am going to teach you from starting to the end. Before implementing chatbot practically, let's see this how the flow of our project will be. So just pause this video for a while, try to understand the flow which I represent using the pictorial representation. So basically our project starts with the question, then based on the student answer, it will go either in this branch, either in this branch. This branch is indicating if the student is already registered, and this branch is indicating if the student is new and registering the first time, and this branch is indicating if the student is already registered, then what the process chatbot should do. So basically we will develop a chatbot based on flow. Flow means, let's say we will ask a question to the user, based on answer, either it will execute this side of instruction and either it will execute this side of instruction. If the student is new, then we will take a detail of that, and if the student is already registered, then we will check whether they are already registered by checking their email ID, and then we will further proceed. And if the student is saying that he or she is already registered but their email ID is not registered, then we will tell them to register first and then we will come back for the already registered section. And then at the end, after registration process of the training and workshop, we will end up the process by taking a feedback. So let me tell you how our project journey will look. Let me tell you what things we are going to use to develop a chatbot project. First, using Dataverse, we are going to make our tables in which the student information will store. Also, we will make a feedback table that will contain the feedback of the chatbot which user provided. So Dataverse we will use for data storage purpose. Second thing we are using, that is Microsoft Virtual Agent, using which we will develop a chatbot and we will run it and test it. And the third thing we are going to use, that is Power Automate. We are automating certain tasks when required using Power Automate. And the fourth one is we are using Power App to integrate whatever chatbot we are making it into our Power App screen. So using these four things, we will make our chatbot. The first thing we are going to make is Dataverse table. As you know that the students will enter their information to register. So in student table, we will store the student information in one Dataverse table. So we will store student full name, then email address, contact number, educational qualification, email address, etc. I have already made one table in Dataverse. The name of a table is student underscore TBL, which will contain the column that is email ID, full name, contact number, and educational qualification. Now, I already entered some simple data in student table, and in student table, student email is a primary column using which we will identify uniquely each and every student. So this is the first table I have made in Dataverse. If you don't know anything about Dataverse, how to make table in Dataverse, let me show you quick demo. You need to first of all log in your Power App Developer login account. Then you need to click on tables. Once you click on tables, let me click again. You will see the different tables available in that. Some of the tables are inbuilt. You can use the design of a table and you can make your own table. Let's say you want to make your own table. So let me click on that and let me click here, new table. And here you need to select add columns and data. And here you can give name of a table. Since I am teaching you how you can create new tables, so I am giving a name of a table as a demo table and click on save. And by default, if you are creating table, you need to make one column and that column should be primary column. So default name of the column is new column, but you can change it by clicking here and click on edit column. And here you can give a name of the column, let's say full name, or let's say primary column we will differentiate by email. Okay, so I can just write a name of a column as an email, and then I used to select a data type, that is text, number, and whatever you want to select. But email address, I will store it in a single line of text. And let's say by mistake I click outside, so okay, email, and click on update. So your new column is updated here. By clicking here, also you can add new columns and select the data types and so on. And let's say you want to create column after creating a table, still you can do that. So for that you need to click on create. Later on you can add extra column in that. So this way you can make table in Dataverse. Let me go back. So I am not creating table right now because I have already created a table. Let me go to the table. The name of a table is student, where it is, student underscore TBL. And here to add the data in a table, you can click on edit, and here you can add data by your own. But in this project, we will add data through the chatbot, but for our understanding purpose, I have already added some simple data inside that. Okay, let me go back. Now let's say for storing a feedback of a student, we need to also make one table which will store the feedback of the student. So let me go again to the table and show you the design of a feedback table. So this is the feedback table in which I am storing email ID and rating of the chatbot. And whatever the email ID student enter, it will store it into that, and whatever the star student give, we will store it here. So this way, for for executing our scenario, we require two tables. First table to store the information of student, we will make student table, and the second thing is that to store a feedback of the students, we will maintain a feedback table. So I hope you get an idea how to create tables in Dataverse, and whatever, if you know already Then you can just make table. If you know how to create a table in Dataverse, you can just make a table and go ahead with the process. Now, we are done with the first step of making tables in Dataverse. The second thing we need to start, that is start Microsoft Virtual Agent. So how you can start that and how you need to log in into that Microsoft Virtual Agent services. So let me show you practically. So to do that, first of all, you need to open a tab and write Microsoft Power Virtual Agent. Then once you write, you will get the first link, that is Microsoft CoPilot Studio, or extend CoPilot or create your own account. So you need to click on first link. If you are new, it will ask to register, and if you have already account, either work account or a school account, you need to click on sign in to that. It will take some time to load. So here you will get a screen like that. Initially, first time if you are logging, you will get this screen. Check for the environment also. Now let's say you make your Dataverse table in, let's say, this environment. So I made data table in Krupali Busa environment. So if you are making your Power Virtual Agent, make sure that you are in the same environment. If you are in a different environment, so it is difficulty to load the things from Power Virtual Agent to the Dataverse. So make sure that you are in a correct environment. So I am selecting my environment. Then what you will see left side. Left side you will see CoPilot, overview, then topics, action, analytics, publish, etc. So let me show you first what is CoPilot. So basically once you click on CoPilot, you will get the screen like this. I already made some copilots, so you will see like that. But since if you are logging first time, then you will see this is a blank. Now what is CoPilot? CoPilot is just like a ChatGPT. You know, when you start writing something, ChatGPT will answer. So if you want to make a chatbot kind of things, you can make your own CoPilot. So you can make new CoPilot, or if you have already made, you can import it. Since you are learning this project, so I suggest you to make your new CoPilot. Then if you go to the home, you will see like that. Then if we click on extend, it will show you the different services, how to manage the things, what is the description, whether it's published, how many copilots you published, and all the things. So we need to click on home. If you click on home, you will see that which are the copilots you have already made, and when you made, and who is the owner of that. Since you need to make your own CoPilot, so click on CoPilot and click on new CoPilot. And here you need to give a name to the CoPilot. Since you are making a chatbot, so I am writing project chatbot. Project _ chatbot. And you need to select the language and everything. Okay. So you need to click on create. Once you click on create, it will create a CoPilot for you. Now your CoPilot screen is ready. So here this is called your testing screen, where you can test your instruction what you have given to the CoPilot. Here in this area you will design your own flow. Here your own flow means, let's say when a student start interacting with a chatbot, so they will write hi, hello, or whatever. So what if you need to answer if student write hi, hello? So here you are going to design that. Here you will see the menu, CoPilot's overview, topics, and all this thing. And here tracking off, you have two options here. Tracking between topics off and on. Now what is the meaning of off? What is the meaning of on? I will explain you when I start developing a co-pilot for you. And this, using this co-pilot, we will make our chatbot. Okay, so here this is called refresh. So let's say you have certain instruction and you are executing. Middle of the something you want to start from the beginning. So you need to refresh it. I hope you understand how the screen will look, how to interact with the different menus and all. Now, before actually developing our own co-pilot and start making our executable instruction, let's understand what is the meaning of topics inside that. So, when you make a co-pilot or when you make your own co-pilot, this side you will see one menu. The name of the menu is topic. Once you click on the topic, you will see that some are the inbuilt topics which Copilot developed for you. So let's say start over. Now what is the meaning of start over? Start over means how end user will start interacting with Copilot. So let me just click on that and let me switch on the status. Switch on the status means by default it is switch on. I just make it switch off. That means once you say hi, hello, Copilot will start answering you. So when you click on plus sign, you will see some topics are already made. Let me zoom out. So here you will click on zoom to make it more big, and using a hand tool you can move this way or this way, whatever you like. So you will see that what phrases once anyone write, it will start executing or Copilot will start answering you. So let's say if someone write let's begin again, start over, start again, restart. So these are the trigger that will automatically execute this topic. Which topic? Start over topic. Start over topic means once you are interacting with someone, how you will start interaction. Either say hi, hello, how are you. These are your phrase using which you start conversation with someone. So same way, if you want to start conversation or if someone want to interact with your chatbot, what they should write. So if someone write let's begin again, start over, start again. So these are the phrase using which this topic will trigger. Trigger means chatbot will start what they need to do. If someone write, they will ask a question. Generally at the beginning I show you that it will ask a question. When you write hi, it will ask hi, you are registered or already registered. Let me show you again. So let me just restart it and let me zoom it little bit. Okay, now see, when you write hi, okay, let's say if I'm writing hi, or here it is saying that hello, I am virtual assistant. Just so you are aware, I sometimes use AI to answer your question. How can I help you? So this is an introductory message that chatbot is giving, that by this message it is saying that I am not a human being, I am a virtual assistant. So when you are talking, you need to take care this in mind. And so when I start writing, if I write hi and press enter, chatbot will answer. So based on hi, whatever I have written, it will trigger a chatbot to start interacting with me. So this is called trigger, how your chatbot will trigger. Okay, so this is called a trigger in that. Okay, let me zoom in little bit. Okay, and this is called trigger. So these are some inbuilt topics that is available when you are making your own copilot. But since you are learning, so I advise you to make your own topic. Don't use ready-made topic. Now here you will see the topics which are already available in that. Okay, so here you can see all topics, and system topic. If you click on all, you will see all available topics which is system generated and which by default chatbot generated. Now what is the meaning of topic? Here you can edit the topics, you can create new topics. And what is the meaning of system topics? System topics means that are the inbuilt topic that you should keep as it is. Without this, your chatbot may not work. So I advise you, if you are learning, so don't touch these topics. Directly click on these topics. Now here, these are the inbuilt topics which are available. So if you are starting anything and if you are writing anything, it will automatically match. But I advise you to switch off the topics. Why? Because we want to design our own message, our own trigger for starting. What are the questions that you need to ask? So how you can switch off the topic, or how you can check whether the topics are switch off or switch on? So see here, if this is the sign, that means all the topics are switch on. So if you want to make a switch off, click on these three dots and close the status. This is the indication that this topic is closed. Same way you need to do for all. So I switch off the topics. Okay, otherwise what happen, it will automatically start executed if your any phrase is matching with that. Okay, now here you can make your own topic. Now system topic you cannot make it by your own, but this topics you can make it by your own. Now before we go ahead, let's focus on the default message you will get when you run your CoPilot. Let me zoom it little bit. So here is the default message that you will get. Hello, I am project underscore chatbot. So this is the name of a chatbot, and it is saying that I am virtual assistant agent and so many information. If you want to edit this message, double click on that. Here you will see that a trigger will start. How this trigger will start? So if you click on edit, here are the topics that will then when the trigger start. But since our conversation start, or we just switch, we refresh it, automatically we want that this message should display. So we are not writing any other things in a trigger. Okay, now here when you see that hello I am and something is written, so how you can edit that? So double click on that, and here you will see that this is the message which is written. You can alter the message. So let's say you don't want to show this much message, so let's shorten the message like this. So delete this, and let's say hello I am project chatbot, a virtual assistant. Kindly say hello or hi to start conversation with me, and just save it. Okay, I don't want to copy, so I just directly save it. So it is saved. Okay, now once you start or refresh, it will display the message. So it is saying that kindly say hi or hello to start a conversation with me. So let's say if I start hi, it is saying that I'm sorry, I'm not sure how you help with me. Can you try rephrasing? It is not answering, or it is not answering as per our need. Why? Because we want that when someone say hi, so it will ask that please select from the following, whether the new registration or already registered. So for that we need to make our own topics. So basically topic means when user asks what chatbot should answer. So for that you need to make your own topics. So how you can make your own topics? Click on this topic and here click on new. Now here, once you click on create, not new, click on the topics and you need to start from blank. Okay. Now, first of all, you should give a proper name to the topic. So I am giving a proper name, let's say chat for chatbot. You can give any name to the topic. Now here, what phrase you want to add to start a conversation? So click on that edit, and here you can add your own phrase. So let's say if someone write hi, you can add it. If someone write in capital hi, it should also answer. If someone write in H capital and I capital, it should answer. Click on save, so it will be saved. Okay, then here once someone write hi or any, you can add any other phrase other than hi also. Let's say if someone write hello, okay, so it should also start or it should also trigger. So let me save it. Then what I want a chatbot to ask a question to the user. Are you, please select from the following. Or we can ask that already registered or not registered. But I prefer to write a question that please select from the following. So how you can ask, or how a chatbot can ask a question to the user. So click on the plus sign, and here you will see that ask a question is there. So if you want to, if you are not able to see it properly, let me zoom little bit so you can see it properly. Okay, and just make sure that, okay, here. So here you can click on ask question. Here you need to click on plus sign to ask a question. Now see, when I click plus sign, nothing is showing. Why? Because see, the hand symbol is there. If you want to do something, if you want to click anywhere inside, then make sure that you need to click on select tool, and then you will able to click it. Let's say if you are on a hand tool, basically hand tool is useful for movement of the trigger and what question you ask or what are the elements you will see in this board. But select tool will make any new conversation and you can start things. So let's say click on add, okay, and ask a question. Now what question I want to ask? I want to ask a question, or I want to say that please select from the following. Basically using that I am asking, are you new registered or already registered? I am writing that what chatbot should ask to the end user. So please select from the following. Okay, and here if you want to give a multiple choice question, let's say sometime what happen, we don't want to give options, we want that user can directly write. Let's say if I am asking a question that what is your name, so in that case a chatbot cannot give option. So it is a question that you need to ask without multiple choice question. So you identify basically what can be the answer of the student. Or let's say here when I am asking please select from the following, so I need to give them option. So for that you need to select multiple choice option, or from here you can add any, let's say if you want to give any other things, color, city, whatever, so you can set that. So here my default entity is multiple choice question. Now if you are selecting a multiple choice question or multiple choice option, you need to give option also. You need to give two options. First, new registration, and the second one is already registered. So here the first option I am giving it as a new registration, and the second option I can give that is already registered. Okay, and then whatever user answer, let's say a user is interacting with the chatbot and chatbot is asking what, please select from the following and give two options. Now whatever user give, where we are storing, we need to store it in a variable. So basically this is the third option I don't want to give, so I'm deleting it. Basically this variable will store the response of the user. So which kind of response it will store? So the name of the variable is variable1 and it is storing the response as a type choice. Okay, so you can double click on that and change the variable name. So I am generally writing my variable name, writing like this: variable underscore user choice for begin. Okay, and then it will automatically change it, and here you can see the data type is choice, right? Okay, so let's save it and let's see. When I write hi, hello, chatbot will ask anything or not. Let me save it. Okay, so it's saved. Now let's let me refresh it and let's say hi. So chatbot will ask a question or tell me, please select from the following. So here I gave two options, so you can see that it is showing me two options. So whether it's new registration or already registered. But what if user select already registered and what if user select new registration? So I am not writing anything after that. So let's see what happens if I select new registration. So if I select new registration, chatbot is not responding anything. Why? Because I did not mention that what chatbot should do when users select new registration. So for that I need to make a code also. Now one more thing, as I promised you that I will explain you what is the meaning of tracking off and tracking on. So let me switch on the tracking and show you. Restart the conversation. Now once you restart a conversation, let's say if I write hi, here you will see that which portion is executed. So here correct sign is indicating this is executed, and highlighted, background is highlighted and the correct sign, it is indicating it is executing. Okay, so this question is currently executing. And if I click on new registration, here you will see that this is executed and now it is like here. My pointer is here. So this way tracking on and tracking off will work. If you switch on the tracking, it will look like that. Let me again switch off the tracking and execute it. Let's say if I write hello, and then here it is refreshing kind of thing, you cannot see. Okay, so let me ask the new registration. Here you can see that. So I'm done with explanation of tracking on and tracking off. Now the next thing is that what if students select already registered, or what if students select new registration? So in that case we need to follow some steps. As I show you in the image that if students select new registration, in that case we need to ask their name, email ID, contact number, then educational qualification, and so let's start practically implementing that. So here you can see that we have given two choices to the user, that is new registration and already registered. So once you write number of option here, automatically that much branch will be created. Now see here, now we have given two options to the user, new registration and already registered. So in that case here you can see downside, automatically Power Virtual Agent create 3 branches. First branch for new registration, second branch for already registered, and third branch, let's say if they do not select first and second, automatically all other part will be executed. So we are starting with what if users select new registration. So let me go to that side, and here you need to click on plus sign, and here we need to ask certain question That's it. What is your name, what is your educational qualification, and etc. So first of all, we will ask the user full name. So ask a question. Okay, now I need to write a question. So let's say I'm writing a question. You can write what is your full name, or you can ask that please provide your full name. Okay, and here, see, here we are not giving a choices. Why? Because user will give their name, user will give his or her name. So in that case, I need to select from identify, I need to select person name, person name, and then automatically whatever the restriction or whatever the validation one can apply on person name, automatically Microsoft virtual agent will apply. I will show you while I am running or I am testing the bot. Okay, and here whatever user will give, it will be stored in that variable. So I don't want a name of a variable only one. So click on that and change the name of the variable to variable underscore var underscore full name. Okay, so always give a meaningful name, so in future we can access it properly if it is required. So here, and what type it is, person name always be in a string. Then I need to ask the contact number of the user as well as email ID as well as educational detail. So let me quickly develop 3 questions for them. For contact number, you need to search for phone number. So automatically all the validation of the phone number will be applicable. And here change the name. Here you need to search for email, so automatically all the validation of the email will applicable. No need to write a separate code for that. Change a name. So we asked three questions: full name, contact number, and email address. Now the next thing that I need to ask that their educational qualification. But here when I am asking a educational qualification, I will give 4 choices. First choice is 10th pass, second choice 12th pass, third choice undergraduate, and fourth choice will be postgraduate. And here I am selecting multiple choice question here and writing choices. Once you write an option for user, automatically whatever option you have given, that much branch is created. Why? The reason is that what if CoPilot will do if user select 12 and so on. So here whatever variable name is there, we need to change it. That is variable educational detail. Okay. Now see, whatever the variable name is there, we have changed it, and the name is that variable educational detail, and the type is choice. Now here, whether user select 10, 12, undergraduate or postgraduate, we are not differentiating action based on their educational detail. But here, whatever they select, at the end, I want to insert that data in my table. Which table? The student table. So I needed to write an action which will insert data into my Dataverse table. So how can I do that? If you click here and write an instruction or write any action, it will execute if student select 10th. If you write here, it will execute if student select 12, and so on. But I want to execute for all the, whether they select this, doesn't matter what they select. So here I need to write here the instruction. Why? Because all this condition will connect it to here. Okay, so make sure that you are writing your question or message at the correct place. Okay, so click in, and here what I want to do, I want to insert the data into the Dataverse table. So CoPilot cannot insert data. CoPilot will only answer and ask something. But if CoPilot want to insert data into the database, if CoPilot want to insert data into the table, in that case CoPilot needs to use Microsoft Power Automate service. Now what is Power Automate? Power Automate is a business process flow. Using that you can automate certain amount of tasks. Now let's say I want to automate the insertion process when student entering the data. So CoPilot needs to call an action. Which action? Microsoft Power Automate action, or you can say Microsoft Power Automate flow. So how you can call Microsoft Power Automate flow from CoPilot? Here you need to click on the plus sign and select call an action. Once you select call an action, here automatically you will able to see whatever the Power Automate flow is there or whatever you have created. But I want to create my own flow. Okay, these are already created by me in past, but here for your learning purpose I am creating one more new flow. So here you need to create a flow. Once you click on create a new flow, a new window will open and you will automatically log in into the Microsoft Power Automate. Here you can see that the screen, Microsoft Power Automate screen. Here you can see you create your flow, or automatically you can see the flow which Microsoft Power Virtual Agent has created. Okay, so here you need to click an input. So let's say here if you want to add an input. Why? Because here you need to add an input. What is the reason for adding an input? Whatever user will give here, we need to pass it to the Microsoft Power Automate. So from CoPilot to the Microsoft Automate, data will pass. So whatever data CoPilot will give, Microsoft Power Automate need to take it. So in that case, we need to add an input. So let's click and add an input. Okay, here I am adding an input and taking the user first name. So let's say here variable full name, not first name, full name. Then I need to take also variable email. So I will take email value in variable email. Then I need to take a contact number. So I will take contact number in variable contact number. So here basically I am taking a variable which is type of text. Once you click on that, you have different choices. Whether you want to create a variable of text, yes, no, file, email, number and date. So I am taking full name, email, contact number, and the last one is that is user educational qualification. So let's say here variable edu educational, you can check it. So you have created a flow which take input. Now here after taking the input, what I need to do? I need to add that input in my Dataverse table. So for that, Microsoft Power Automate needs to add an action. So click on plus sign and click on add an action. Once you click on add an action, you need to search for add new row. Now you can add new row using Dataverse table or anything. Okay, so here click on Microsoft Dataverse and select add new row. Okay, then here you need to select the table name. Now table name I have created, that is student. Okay, let me just write student TBLs. Okay, so you need to select that table. Could not find a table. Okay, here. Okay, just portion of second, it will take some time to search that. Then you need to provide your email. Now what value you need to give to that email column? So we have already created that variable, so that variable value I want to pass it. Okay, so here let me just shrink it and here click it again, and once you click on that, here you will able to see the name of the variable which you have created. Here you need to select email. Okay, why? Because email column we need to provide email value. Then I need to provide contact number, user full name, educational detail, and so on. Okay, so click add dynamic content. Add dynamic content will show this, but I need to click add more column value. So contact number, here I need to provide a contact number. Then in educational qualification, I need to select variable educational qualification, and full name, I need to select the full name. So I am giving the value which is coming from Microsoft CoPilot. Then after the execution, we should remember that whatever flow will do, it is again respond to the Microsoft CoPilot. So if this action is not there, you need to manually add it. But since we when we are creating this first and last action, automatically Microsoft Power Automate added, so no need to edit. Then give a meaningful name to the flow. So I am giving a flow name, that is flow for student registration. Okay, and click on save. So wait until it's saved. So you are seeing the message that your flow is ready to go, and we recommended to test it. Now one more thing you can see, that is new designer. Now what is the meaning of new designer? You know, Microsoft Power Automate is continuously improving their UI, and you know they are giving option that whether you want to work it in old design or new design. So let's say if you want to work it in new design, you can switch on that. So it will refresh and you will get the idea that how it will look. Now here we do not need to code again in new designer, but you know the look and feel, and you can say UI of the whatever flow you have created, it is a change. Only UI is changed. Whatever code you have written, it's same. So our flow is created, and here you can publish it, you can test it, you can save it as a draft and so on. But since we have already saved it, so we do not need to save it again. Now once again you need to go back to the CoPilot, and once you are creating a flow from CoPilot, here a message you will see. You have opened a new tab to create a new flow. Click done to update the flow list with your new flow. So once your flow is created, you need to click on done. Okay, we are saying CoPilot that we are done with the flow, and make sure that your flow is saved successfully. Okay, and once again I am adding a flow from that. Now here you will able to see the flow whatever you have created. So I have created a flow name with the flow student REG. So here you can see that a flow student REG is created, and here you can see that it is updated 2 minutes ago, and you can click on view detail to see the detail again. So automatically it will open in new window, but we don't require because it is already open. And then click on that flow registration. Okay, so it will be added. Now here, as I told you that, you know, we need to pass all the value whatever we have taken it from the CoPilot. Now I told you that you need to pass all the value, whatever value you have taken from the user. So here we need to select the value. So here you will see that variable full name string. So remember we have created a variable full name. So here what value we want to pass it in that variable, we need to select it. So here you need to pass the value which you have taken from the user. So remember we have taken a different value, that is full name, last name, and here this is a name of a variable. So that variable name we need to pass it. Okay, so go down here, and here full name, it will contain variable full name. Now variable email, we need to take it variable email, and variable contact number, again we are taking contact number. Now don't confuse, here this sky blue color is the name of a variable which you have created in a flow, and this variable name you need to give what you have created when you are taking value from the user. So don't be confused with that, and select the here in educational detail, we need to select that educational detail, and here we are done with giving a value to that. Now make sure the data type of the variable which Power Automate is asking and what you are providing should be same. So here variable full name, it's a string, and here we are passing it is a string, and so on. For contact number same, for email same, but here you will see the difference. The variable educational detail is in string format in Power Automate, but here variable educational detail, it is in a choice. In Power Automate, we do not have a privilege to create a choice type of variable. So for that, what we need to do, if we pass a choice variable to the string, it will generate an error. So what we need to do, we need to convert our educational detail choice variable into a type text. So how can we convert that? So we need to convert that variable before we are passing it into the Power Automate flow. So here, after taking here also you can convert it, or before passing we can also convert it. So click on that, and here once if you want to convert variable from one type to another type, you need to click on variable management, and here you need to click on set variable. Now here I am taking a new variable which will contain the whatever user has selected the educational qualification. So let me give a variable name. So I am creating a new variable, and let me change the name of the variable. Let's say variable educational detail, but in str format. And this variable value I want to convert it to what, or what value I want to assign it. In this variable I want to assign the value which is there in a variable educational detail. So click on that sign, and here you need to write how you will convert your educational choice variable into a string. So you need to go to the formula, and here you need to write text. So basically text is a function which will convert any value whatever you have passed into the text format. So you need to write topic. Topic means under this topic. Then you need to write a name of a variable which you want to convert it into a string format. So variable educational detail, I want to convert it into a string format, and click on insert. Once you click on insert, automatically a variable type is created, that is string, and this value, variable educational detail choice, is converted into a string, and that value we will pass it into the Microsoft Power Automate. So here you can see that there is an error, that binding incorrect type error. This means that the variable data type is different. So change it to the variable educational detail. Okay, now see, error will go, and save it your flow. Now after inserting value, we need to give a proper message to the end user that thank you for your registration. Okay, so let's send a message. So we just want to display a message to the user. So in that case, we will select send a message, and here we need to write a message that thank you for your detail, or you can write any message you want, and then our flow will end. Okay, so let's save it and we will test it, and we will check whether the data is saved into a Dataverse table using CoPilot or not. So here let it be wait once it is loaded successfully, and here you can see that whatever top things we have done inside that topic, it is saved. So click here if you will not able to see the testing screen, and here let's say write hi. Remember we have created a trigger to start a conversation, that hi, hello, and whatever. So I'm selecting new registration. So it is asking please provide your full name. Okay, so here I'm giving a full name. Let's say here I'm giving invalid full name, and let's see what happened. It is again asking please provide your full name. Why? Because any name cannot start with a number. Let's say my name is Krupalu, so I cannot say that is group 123 Krupalu. Okay, so I need to give a meaningful name. Let's say I'm giving a name. Okay, now it will ask for provide your contact number. Now let's say I'm providing my contact number as 123. Again it will ask. Why? Because when we are asking a contact number, then contact number should be in 10 digit. Okay, so I need to give a proper contact number. Not proper contact number, but in proper format I need to give a contact number. Then email address, you can check it for email address also. So I am writing email address, that rincy@gmail.com, and then it will ask select your last educational qualification. So here I am selecting the post graduation, and then whatever detail I gave to Microsoft Power Virtual Agent, it will saved, and it will display message that thank you for your detail. Now how can we check it that our data is saved or not? So let's go to the Dataverse table and refresh it. Now you can see whatever data we have provided, it is saved successfully in my Dataverse table. But from where? From Microsoft Power Virtual Agent, or we can say from CoPilot. So here you learn how CoPilot will save data in Dataverse using Microsoft Power Automate. Here you can see the pictorial representation of the communication between Microsoft CoPilot or Microsoft Power Virtual Agent to the Power App. So Microsoft Power Virtual Agent will pass data to the Power Automate. Power Automate will save data into Microsoft Dataverse. So I hope till now you get an idea that how you can do that. So here we are displaying thank you message, but here in real life what I want to do, after taking detail from the user, I want to ask them whether you want to register for training or workshop. If students say yes, then I will give them a link that using that link you can register. Or if students select no, then CoPilot will say thank you for your detail. Okay, so in that case what I need to do, after inserting the data, I need to ask a question. Here I just display thank you message for your understanding purpose, but as our flow, if you have seen our flow in image, that after taking a detail, asking students that whether they want to register for training or workshop. So how can I do that? So before the thank you message, let me click on plus sign and ask a question. Do you want to register for training or workshop with us? or you can say anything. Okay, in here either they will say yes or either they will say no. So we are giving them multiple choice question that first option can be yes and second option can be no, or we can select we can write next time. Okay, next time. Okay, and then here in the variable name I'm changing the variable name, that is variable registration choice. Okay, and here we have two branches. Let me hide this so you can see it properly. Okay, now here we have two branches, yes or next time. So if students say yes, then what I want to display? If students say yes, then I want to display a send message, or I want to display the link. Now this link I want to display, so let me copy. Basically using message I am telling to the student that using that link you can register. So here I am giving message that, and then I'll ask that, not here continuous, sorry, double click on that and let me edit the message. Using that link you can register. Again I made a spelling mistake. And then we are displaying thank you message, thank you for your detail. So here I am altering the message that instead of thank you for your detail, I am writing thank you. Okay, and have a good day or bye, you can write any message, have a good day. And then if students say no, then we just directly write a message, thank you, have a good day. Okay, so if they are selecting next time or no option, so we are not giving them a link. Okay, so let me save this and we need to test it, because whatever small changes we are doing in topics, or you can say in a flow, we need to test it. Why? Because testing is the most important thing when we are developing anything. Okay, so click here, and here we need to start from the beginning. So I am refreshing it, and here I am writing hello. So I am asking new registration. Okay, so this time I am providing a valid detail. Okay, so this is my name. Okay, it is okay if I do not write my full name. So my contact number, then it will ask for email address, then educational qualification, and it will insert. Okay, so it will take a little bit time. And then it is asking a question, do you want to register for training or workshop? Let's say if I'm saying yes, then it will display a message that link, it will display a message that using that link you can register and have a good day. When user click on that link, this link will open, this website will open, and you can user can register that. Let's say if students select no, so in that case only this message will display. You can test it by your own. So we are done with new registration. The next thing I'm going to teach you is that how we can process if the student is already registered, or what if end user select if the student is already registered. So in that case we need to define some steps. So where we need to write the steps. So we are done with new registration steps. So if you go upside, we have two choices. You can see that this is new, please select from the following, then we have given that what if CoPilot needs to do if new registration. Now here in that section, we need to write what if user select already registered. So let me write a select tool, and here if the student is already registered, we need to ask them, please provide your registered email ID, and we need to check whether this email which is provided by the user, it is there in the database or not. So CoPilot needs to check it whether the email ID is exist in a database or in a table or not. So how we can do that? So first of all, after selecting already registered, we will ask a question, please provide your registered email. Please provide your registered email, or you can write please provide your email. Okay, because using that mail they are registering. And here I need to select email format. Okay, as we have selected, so write here email and click on email. And here I am changing the name of a variable, that is variable search email. So variable email we have taken. Now what we need to do after taking an email? After taking an email address from the user, we need to check it into the Dataverse table. So again, if CoPilot wants to talk to the Dataverse table, CoPilot needs to use a Microsoft Power Automate. Now we have already made one flow, so close this flow, and here we are going to make another flow from the CoPilot, okay, which will check the email. So click on that, select call and action, and here if it is already there you can select it, but since I need to create a new flow for checking the email, so I need to click on create new flow. Make sure that both your CoPilot and your Automate should be in the same environment. Okay, so run in CoPilot. So here we are going to create a flow which will take email from this flow and search in the table whether that email IDs exist in this table or not. Okay, so let's do that. So I'm not working on new designer, so let me switch off the new designer, and I like to work in old designer part. So here it's the same look and feel, only the names are changed, but it's okay, no need to worry. So first of all, give a proper name to that flow, that is flow email check. Okay, so we are renaming our flow, and here first of all we need to add an input parameter. So I have already added variable name. Let's say first time if you are adding an input parameter, so click on that, select the type, and here I am creating a variable, let's say variable email. Okay, and the input parameter is ready. So this variable will contain email which is passed from CoPilot. Okay, and then add an action. Now here we are searching records from the Dataverse table. So for that there is one action called list row. So list row action will search the record based on whatever value we have given. So we need to select the table name. So my table name is student table, and here we need to click on show advanced option, and we want to filter it out. So we need to write the name of the column, which column name based on the column using which we want to filter it out. It is not advisable to write this column name as it is. Go to the edit column, go to the advanced option, and copy this logical name and paste it here in a filter row section, and here write equal to, and then based on what you want to filter, so here you need to write the name of a variable which we have created here input. Then after what we need to do, whatever the number of row it is written by the list action, we need to check how many rows are written using that. So click on add an action, then select compose. Okay, and here we need to count the number of row. So how we can count that? So go to the expression, write the length. Now inside the bracket we need to write we need to count the number of row which is written by list row. So if you go to the dynamic content, and here it is there, we need to select body list table or list of item, whatever you want to write. So here I am selecting values, I want to count the values. So automatically this expression will be written, and click on OK. Once it is OK, just click on save. In between we need to save it. Why? Because if anything happen, we don't want to lose our work, that's why. So I used to save while I am making the flow. So we are counting that. Now based on the counting, we want to return something. So let's say if the number of row 0, that means no match found. If number of row greater than 0, that means some match is found, or something. If number of row is greater than 0, that means match is found. So let me click on that, add an action, and write condition. Okay, why? Because we want to take a decision based on the condition. You need to select condition. Okay, now here what you need to write? You need to write a condition which is checking whether the output of this compose is equal to 0. If it is equal to 0, that means that student is not registered. If it is not equal to 0, that means that student is registered with us. So here what you need to do, go to the expression. No need to go to the expression, just go to the here compose. Here you need to select that output equals to 0. That means if it is 0, then what we need to do, if this condition is true, what we need to return? We need to return 0. That means we do not that student is not registered with us. So click on action, and here respond to CoPilot, and here we are creating a variable, that is variable reply and 0. Okay, that means 0 means no, it is that student is not registered, and if it is not equal to 0, that means condition is false. So response to CoPilot, and here again creating a variable reply and this time we are returning 1. That means match is found, or it is not equal to 0. Okay, so let's take it again. Okay, this reply is okay, then save it. Now here it is saying that something is wrong. Why? Because here we are returning, here we are returning, and here also we are returning. So let me delete that action, because 2 times we cannot return. Okay, so action is deleted. Again save it. Okay, now our flow is saved successfully and it's ready for testing. But since we don't want to test here, so let's go to that topic, click on done, and let's save this here, and then we will use that flow. So name of the flow is flow email check. So here I want to add a flow. So click on the plus sign, call an action, and flow check email. Now here it is saying updated an hour ago. That means it is latest updation is not there. So what we need to do, we need to refresh this page, because we have created a flow before some minute and it is saying hour ago. So proper refresh is not done, so we need to refresh the entire page. Okay, let me go again. And call an action, and here now you can see flow email check and updated 2 minutes ago. So we are getting a latest update. Okay, so here now what value we want to pass it here. So we need to pass an input parameter and we are passing that variable search email. Now whatever value that flow is returning, here you can see that output 1, that means one value it is returning. So here that value we will contain it in a variable reply. Now after getting or after searching data in Dataverse, our CoPilot is here. So what we need to do, if the value whatever the Microsoft Power Automate written it is equal to 0, that means that person email ID is not with us, or that student is not registered with us. Otherwise we can say that that student is registered with us. So let me click on that and add a condition, because here we want to check the variable reply value. So add an condition, and here we need to select a variable based on which we want to perform equal. So variable reply, and since it is number, so we need to check it. If it is equal to 0, then what we want to display, we want to display that this email ID, this email ID is not registered with us. You can display your message and whatever, and here we will send a message that kindly registered with us. Okay, now after that what we want to do, after that we just want to display message, but what we can do, we can jump our flow to the new registration, but I will show you later after testing the entire flow. Okay, and if it is not equal to 0, then definitely it is 1 or any other value. So here I am writing an message to the user that hi, you are registered with us. You are registered with us. Then we are asking a question that do you want to register for training or workshop or not, and then we will provide a link. But right now for testing purpose I am not doing that. And click on save, then we will test it. Okay, click on this and write hi. So this time I am selecting already registered. Now we have this 3 different email, so using which I will test it. So please provide your email. So let's say I am providing my incorrect email ID which is not registered. So let's say kr@gmail.com. So it should display message that this email ID is not registered with us. See, this email ID is not registered with us, kindly registered with us. Now let's test it again, and this time I will give correct email. Okay, so let's say hi, already registered. Then I'm providing your mail, so it is asking for providing your mail. So this time I'm giving correct mail. Okay, hi, you are registered with us. Okay, so here you understand how we can check whether the data is there in our table, which table data was table, using Power Automate in CoPilot. So I hope you get the idea that how you can search the thing in CoPilot using Power Automate. But still, it is not over yet. What we need to do next? Here, if the student email ID is not registered, so we will ask them again, can you please provide your registered email ID? The reason for asking is that, when we are typing something or when we are writing an email ID, by mistake, we may make a typing mistake. What is the reason for asking it again? Because when we are typing, there may be a possibility that we made some mistake while typing. So we are giving a second chance to the user that please provide your registered email ID. This email ID is not registered. So for that, what we need to do? Here we will give them 3 chances to enter correct email ID. So for that, what we need to do here, if the student email ID is not registered, we will count 1 chance. If second time they are providing correct email ID, then we will go to the correct part. But still, if user is providing incorrect email ID, we will give them a second chance and third chance. When we are logging into net banking, if we provide 3 times correct email ID, then they will lock. So here we are not locking the user, but we are giving them chance 3 times. So we will do that next. Now let's design a process where we are asking email ID to the user if they are already registered, and we are giving them 3 chances to provide their correct email ID. How you are going to do that? So to do that in Power Virtual Agent, whenever we are asking first time their email ID, we will set our counter to 1. Now what is the meaning of counter here? Counter is a one kind of variable which will keep track of how many times user provide their email ID. Okay, so we will keep that. If user provide their email ID and if it is correct, then we will go for the correct part. But if user give their email ID and that email ID is not registered with us, then we are asking second time to the user. Okay, so this here the counter will be incremented by 1. That is, first time it is set to 1. Then if we are asking second time, it is set to 2, and so on until user enter 3 times. So if user entered incorrect email ID more than 3 times, then what we will do? We will tell them that this email ID is not registered with us. Kindly go to the registration part and register your data. So we are going to design that process in Microsoft Power Virtual Agent. So let's do the practical. So here in screen you see that we have designed a flow which will check that email ID, and then we are checking that whether email IDs exist or not, and if it is written 0, that means the email ID is not registered, and other than 0 we can say that this is registered. So slightly we are going to do some alteration process. Now what process we are do here? First of all, we will set our counter variable to 1 if we are asking first time. So when we need to set it, let's say here, please provide your email ID. So here, before that, we need to set our counter. Counter, as I told you, it is a variable which will keep track of how many times you entered email ID. Okay, so let's click on that. But remember, before the question, you need to add that. Okay, so click on that. And here you need to click on variable management and click on set a variable. Now here you need to select a variable. So let me create a new variable. I am not selecting it from any other. So counter is a variable. So I am writing counter and I am set the value to 1. Okay, so automatically it will take a number. Okay, so 1. And if user provide their email ID, we will not here touching the counter, it is set to 1. Then it will go to the flow. Here this flow we have already designed, which will check whether that email IDs exist in a database or not. Then we are checking the condition that if it is equal to 0, that means that email ID is not registered with us. And we are saying that to the user, this email ID is not registered with us. And we need to ask them again, please provide your registered email ID. So second time we are going to ask. So before we are asking second time, we need to increase the counter. Why? Because before it was set to 1, now we need to increment it by 1. So to do that process, we will use again Power Automate to increment counter by 1. Automatically it will take a previous value and increment it by 1. So where we should write that, where we should add that flow. So we are displaying the message, this email ID is not registered with us, kindly registered with us. Other than this, we are not writing here this message. Okay, so I'm just deleting it because 2 times it is not necessary. So here I'm incrementing my counter by 1. So how can I do that? So I need to design a flow. So let me just click on call an action and create a new flow. And remember, I am using old designer, okay, to design a flow. If you are comfortable with new design, it's your choice. Microsoft Power Automate allow you to work either in old design, either in new design. Since new design is still under developing process, so some of the feature may not be available in new design. Okay, so let me switch off this designer. Okay. Now here, first of all, let me give a proper name to my flow, that is flow increment counter. Flow increment counter. Then I am adding an input. Now what input I am adding? I am passing my existing counter value. So here I am adding one input, and this time I am adding it number. Why? Because from Power Virtual Agent we are passing number. So as you know that both data types should be matched. So you need to select a number and give a meaningful name. Here I am giving variable counter end. So this value it will contain. Now what I need to do? I need to initialize my counter with the value what we are getting. Okay, so here 2 ways you can do. Directly you can increment a counter, or either in separate variable you initialize it and then you can increment it. So I am doing it separately. So click on that, add an action. Let me write an action, initialize. Okay, so it's just processing, wait for a minute. Let's say variable. Here initialize variable. So I need to give a variable name, that is counter, and let's say select type it as an integer, and the value I am giving it whatever I am getting. So variable count. Now what I need to do after initializing the value which I am getting, so I need to increment it by 1. So click on that, add an action and select variable. Okay, and from the variable I need to increment the variable. Okay, so select that. Now which value I want to increment? So I want to increment the counter. Now how much I want to increment? So I want to increment it by 1. Okay, so if we pass 1, so it will be incremented by 1, so that will be 2. And I am responding to the CoPilot which value? I am giving back the value, that is counter. And which value I am passing here? I am passing the CNT value. Okay, so let's save this flow. Now sometimes it is a headache to give every time a new variable. Why? Because whenever we are taking an input, we are giving another variable, and when we are returning the input, we are giving another variable. So be mindful what you are returning. Okay. So our flow is ready to go, and it is saying that we recommended to test it, but we don't want to test it because it is a simple process. So directly go to the Microsoft Virtual Agent, click on done, and here click on call an action, and here search for the flow which we have created. Now see, the flow is you can see that flow increment counter and updated few seconds ago. So select that. Now after that, what we need to do, we need to pass the value to that. Which value? So here we have initialize a counter, and we are initialize it with the 1. So we need to pass that variable here. Okay. So here we are passing that value. Now whatever it is returning, we need to take it in which variable? So we are taking it in CNT variable, right? And then we are checking whether the value of counter is less than 3 or less than or equal to 3. We are asking them again a question. So click on that, add a condition, and what we are checking? We are checking the CNT value is equal to, we are not writing, we are writing is less than or equal to 3. If it is correct, then what we need to do? We are asking them question again. So we are not designing or we are not writing our question again, but we will make our Power Virtual Agent to go to the previous step. Which step? Where we are asking a question. So how we can make our Power Virtual Agent to go back? So click on that, and here you can see that in topic management, you can see that go to step. So select a go to step, and then you need to select on which step you want to go. So here I want to go here. Please provide your registered email. So select that and come here. Here you can see that whatever question you have designed or whatever question you have, that it is here, and when you click here, automatically you will redirect it to back. Okay, how much time it will run? It will run till 3 time. Okay, so I forget to write here 3. Okay, and click on save. Okay, so we have designed a process where we are giving chance to the user to enter their email ID 3 times. But let's say first time user entered incorrect email ID, but second time user entered correct email ID. So what we need to do? In that case, automatically it will redirect it to the message that you are already registered with us. Okay, but let's say 3 times user enter incorrect email ID. So we are not giving user 4th chance. So we are displaying a message that we can say that you add 3 times incorrect email ID, kindly registered with us. Okay, so you enter your incorrect email ID 3 times, kindly register with us. Okay, and we are stepping here to the process where we are taking here, we are asking the information. Okay, so where we are redirecting here, do you want to register for training or workshop? So we are asking, we are going here from that part. Okay, so let me just here and go to step, and which steps we are going, let me please select from the following. Okay, and let's test it. Okay, and here we are done with that, and we need to check whatever we are doing, it is correct or not. Okay, so meanwhile it's opening. Let me open my Dataverse table. Okay, now let's test it. So we are writing hi. So first I will provide my incorrect email ID 3 times. Okay, so let's say I am selecting already registered. And then it will ask my email ID. So I am giving my incorrect email ID first time. Again, it is saying that this email ID is not registered with us. Okay. Now it should ask a question. Please provide your email. Okay, so again it is asking my question, and again I am giving my email ID incorrect. So again, second time. So it is saying that this email ID is not registered with us, and it will ask me a question that please provide your email ID. Okay, so third time I am giving my incorrect email ID. So let's say again this is my incorrect email ID. So again it is displaying message. Now since it is a third time, so my counter is it is asking a question. Why? Because I write a condition that if it is less than or equal to 3. So basically it will execute 4 times. First time, second time, third time, and fourth time if I am giving incorrect. So here I need to change my condition, but here I need to write less than 3. Why? Because it is asking 4 times. So let's say here 4 times I am giving my incorrect email ID. Generally we need to change here the condition, this email ID is not registered with us, and then please provide your email. Now see, again it is asking 5th time. So what is the meaning of that? Here we need to check it, the thing that it is working fine or not. Okay, again it is asking again and again and again. So it should not work like that. So something is incorrect inside that. So let me close that and check for the value. Now here what counter value I am getting? I am setting the counter value. Here this is the counter value 1. And here it is asking me again, here less than or equal to 3. Instead of that we can write 3. Here we can set less than instead of that. And here we are forget to increment the counter. So let's start whether we should increment counter here or here. But since we are checking what's wrong with that, so we need to print the counter variable value. So how can I print the value? Let's check it. I need to insert variable. Okay, save it, and I should check it what's wrong with that, whether the counter value is incremented or not. Yes, here there is a mistake. I can say that every time I am passing 1, let me show you. I got my mistake, logical mistake. Here every time I am passing the counter value, but updated value is here. So what I need to do, either I need to take, either I need to assign whatever value I am getting here in this counter, and then I can update it. Okay, so let's check it. Okay, so here in this variable I need to assign a value in that. So how can I do that? So here, instead of that, let me set a variable value. Because here the counter value is not updated. Every time CNT value is updated. So what variable value I want to set? To which variable? To the count. Okay, and then I will print the counter message. Okay, counter value, not message. I don't want to print. I'm printing it just for our understanding purpose, whether it is incremented or not. Okay, so let's test it. So start from the refresh. This is a logical error you will get once you test it. Without testing you will not get an idea. So let's say I'm passing hi. So I'm selecting already registered. Then it is asking email. I'm providing my incorrect email ID. So second time it is asking, so counter is incremented. So let's say here again I'm adding my incorrect email. So third time it will ask, and then the exit point will come, whether we are going in infinite loop or we are exiting from that loop. See, so basically here it is asking 2 times, and it is saying that this email ID is not registered with us. You entered incorrect email ID 3 times. Kindly registered with us. Please select from the following. So let's say if I'm selecting already registered or registered, then it will go ahead. But meanwhile, I need to make one correction that I changed the condition to less than 3. But I need to make it again less than or equal to 3. So let's say I'm selecting already registered. Then it is asking my email ID. So this time I am giving my correct email ID. Let me check it, my email ID which I have entered. So okay, so it should display message, hi, you are registered with us. Okay, and then it should stop the flow, or it should say thank you for your cooperation, and we will print that message. But here we need to add, we need to change one condition, that is less than equal to 3. Before that I changed it to less than 3 because I was then that impression that I started with 0 and then actually the problem was that a counter value was not updated. So here I may make sure that I should write less than or equal to 3 and save it. So we are done with the process which will ask user email ID 3 times, and if 3 times they entered incorrect value, then they will directly go to the step that whether you want to register or you already registered. So again the process will start. If user entered their email ID correct, then they will say that thank you. It is saying that hi, you are already registered with us. So let's alter that message also. So let's say here, let's go to that part, and here hi, you are already registered with us. Instead of that, we are asking them, do you want to register for training or workshop? Why? Because if they already registered, again we need to ask them, do you want to register for training or workshop? Then we need to make them redirected to our website. So let's alter this message, and here delete this message because we want to ask a question. Okay, So let's say ask a question. Do you want to and here we are giving them choices, yes, and let's say here we are saying no, let's say, and then here we are taking that value into the variable. Which variable choice. Now we cannot take a variable choice. Why? Because the name of the variable underscore choice we have already taken. So I'm selecting variable underscore choice underscore 1. Okay, let me just make correction here. Variable choice underscore 1. I'm not able to change it, so let it be variable underscore choice underscore, and if it is equal to yes, then what we need to do, we need to tell them this is our link, so kindly register using that link. Okay, so we want to send them a message, kindly register using following link, and which link I want to paste it. I have already taken that link, so let me copy that link from there. Let me copy that link and paste it here. And here I forgot to add a choice, that is no. I think I added, but I forget to save it, that's why. Following link, and let's give the link. Okay, that's it. Okay, so, and if they are saying no, in that case we are saying them goodbye, have a nice day, or whatever, or you can say thank you for your time. Okay. Let's save this and test it. Okay, so let's restart the process, and we will check for incorrect email ID, and we will check for correct email ID also. Okay, so let's start with the hello. Please select from the following. So this time I am selecting already registered. Please provide your email ID. So first time I am providing my incorrect email ID. I will remove the part which will print the counter value actually. It's not good thing to print the counter value. Or we can write your first time trial, second time trial over. This email ID is not registered with us, displaying the message. Then please provide your email ID. So this time I am providing my correct email ID. And it is asking a question that do you want to, here I made a spelling mistake, so I need to make a correction. Do you want to register for training or workshop? If I say no, then thank you for your time, and the conversation will over. Okay, so here I need to change the spelling here. Do you want? So let's save that. So here we are done with the process to check that email ID. If the email ID is not registered with us, then we will give them 3 chances, and if still they entered incorrect email ID, then we tell them to register with us. So here this process is over. Now the entire project is not over. Still some of the task is remaining. The last task, this is remaining, that if we are taking registration detail from the user, after that a chatbot should ask the user, do you enjoyed talking with me, or can you give me star? So whatever star user will provide database, we will store it into the table feedback. So how we will store that? Okay, so let's go to the process where we are taking information, or we are taking registration detail from the user. So let's design a feedback process. We are here in the portion where we are taking details from the user, like email address, contact number, or we can say registration detail from the user. And at the end we are asking them, do you want to register for training or workshop, and so on. So after that we are displaying a thank you message, that thank you, have a good day. Okay, so before that I am asking a question to the user, or I am asking a feedback to the user, that do you like, or we can ask them, are you enjoyed talking with us or not. Okay, so let me ask a question, and you can write any question, but basically my motto is that I am taking rating from the user. So which rating? I am taking chatbot rating from the user. So I am asking, would you like to, or you can say, please give me a rating, please give me rating in scale of 1 to 5, or you can say that please give me rating by selecting following, by selecting following. Okay, and here we are giving multiple choice question, that 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, 5 star, and so on. Okay, so let me write. So I'm writing 1 star, then new option. Okay, so 2 star, then third 3 star. You can write star also. Okay, it's your choice how you can make it creative. Okay, so 4 star, and last is 5 star. 5 star. Okay, and here we are taking that in a, what we can say, in a variable star. Okay, so variable star. Okay, so it's done. Then here so here basically what I need to do, oh, it's just, you know, going here and there quickly just by touching the mouse. Okay, so whether they are giving 1 star, whether giving 2 star, 3 star, 4 star, and 5 star. Okay, I think here only 4 star value. Let me write 5 star. Maybe I forget to save after that. You know, sometimes this happens. Okay, so variable star, so automatically 5 branches will be there. Now here what you can do, here you can let's say if user enter 1 star, 2 star, then what we can ask them how we can improve our performance. And if user enter 4 star or 5 star, there is no need to ask them how we can improve performance. But we are not going in that much branches. We are just simply right now adding a feedback into the dataverse table. So which table we are adding? Let me just go back to the tables here and go to the custom part, and I think we have taken a feedback table here. This is a feedback table, and here we are taking feedback ID, email ID, and rating. So basically feedback ID, if you remember, we are setting it as an auto number, so we don't want to provide it is we are not providing them, so we are providing only email ID and rating. So go here, let me just close this, otherwise, you know, we will confuse so many things at that. So after that, you know, we are changing our choice to the character, the reason or string. We are converting our choice variable to the string. Why? Because Microsoft Power Automate do not allow choice variable data type. So we need to convert it into the string, and then we can provide our feedback star and the person who is giving feedback. Okay, so let's say here convert that. So variable management, set variable value, and here we are creating new variable and change the name. Okay, let me write variable star and to str, because it's a string format. And here this variable, it's limited to this topic. We can make our variable global, so we can assign it into another variable. Okay, so here we need to write a formula as we have written previously. That's a text. Then I need to write topic dot, oh, I forget why it is generating an error. Let me write here the topic here first. Topic, then text, then, oh, it's not showing. Let me just cancel it and go upside and see what I have written. Maybe I made some mistake. So here actually I'm converting it. Oh, here I need to write topic, so I have written the correct thing. So why it was not showing? Let me just go back here, formula, then I need to write text, then dot. Here now it's come, variable star. Complete the bracket and click on insert. Previously I was writing the same thing, but I don't know why it was showing an error. So basically star is converted into a string. Now let's design a flow which will insert data. Okay, so click on that, and here call an action, and here create a flow. Always give flow at the starting. Okay, always give a flow name while you are writing your flow. Otherwise at the end you may forget, and you will find what name I gave. Let me cancel it. Call an action, create a new flow. Okay, sometime we just need to refresh it, and I'm switch off the new designer window. So basically in flow we will pass the string, that is star, and the name of the person, or we can say not name but email ID of that person. Okay, so let's first add an input, kind of text. So we can say that email, variable email, and the second input is, let's say, star, variable star, and here we need to add a row. So what we need to set, remember when we are adding data, so same action we need to take it. So let's select the Dataverse, because our table is Dataverse table, and we are adding new row in that. So select that. Okay, so select the table name. Okay, so feedback table, here feedback table I need to select. Then again it is not showing the thing properly. Let me just delete it and add it again. Add an action, Dataverse, add a new row. Okay, select table. No, it takes some time to load data. Feedback. Okay, so feedback ID we are not providing because it's auto number. So could not find a name with that, but it's okay. but email ID, I am writing the variable email, and let's say rating, I am selecting, oh, it's not coming, why? Here add dynamic content, feedback table, rating is a column, let me see the rating column, and it is number. Okay, yes, we are taking it as a number. So basically 5 star, 3 star, 2 star, so we need to take it as a text. Why? Because we are entering last star, so that's why we need to change the thing. So let's say format, instead of that, let's delete this column and add a new column, and then we need to refresh it. So it's always good idea to make your column data type proper, which we are going to fit. Okay, so here in Chatbot we are taking 5 star, 2 stars. So star, we need to store it in a what we can say in a string. So let me just add a column, let's say star or rating column, or we can say rating of user or rating of Chatbot, and then here single line of text, and it's okay. Then make a refresh, and then again go back to that, delete an action, because that action has taken the data from old. So again I need to add a new action, Microsoft Dataverse, add new row, yes, and then I need to select the table, feedback table, and then I need to show advanced option, and then email ID, let's say variable email, and rating of Chatbot, I should write star. Okay, and then it is responding to the user. Now let's say here what it is saying, could not find a table with the name feed, but I don't select anything. Let me just delete that table name and select it again, feedback tables. Okay, let's take the table name feedback tbl, and here, oh, here still it is showing an error. Let me just delete an act. Oh, here it's gone now. And then again variable email and variable star. Okay, now save the flow. Definition contain invalid parameter. Now here is the problem. What problem is that here we have taken a feedback ID, but here we put the feedback ID as a auto number. But here when we are designing a flow, we need to pass that value mandatory. So let's say if I am passing a dummy value, let's say here I am writing dummy, okay, let's say, or I am not passing anything, let's say 0, 1 or taste, okay, let's say I am passing that value, and when I save it, let's see what happened. Okay, so we are done with designing a flow which will insert data into the feedback table. Now let's test it. Okay, why I am testing it? Because here we have a feedback ID which is auto number, then rating and the email address, and let's test it. Okay, so that's why I am testing it. So first of all, let me save it. Okay, so flow is saved successfully, there is no error. Now let's test it. Here I am testing it by clicking on test and select manual testing. Now since we are accepting two values, that is email ID and variable star, that is star. Okay, so let me provide my email ID. Okay, and then let's say give 4 star just for a testing purpose and run a flow. So it is saying that your flow run successfully started. To monitor, go to the flow run page, but let's just click on done. And when we done, it is showing that flow run failed, and it is showing that error that URL was not passed due to an O data unrecognized. What is the meaning of that? This first step runs successfully, but the second step failed. Now let's see that what it is saying. It is saying that bad request, and here it is saying test. Why? Because whenever we are selecting auto number in Dataverse table, Dataverse automatically insert the data. But here in Flow, what we are doing, we are manually passing test value to insert it into the feedback ID. So that is not good. But in Power Automate, there is no way that we can insert automatic value. Why? Because let's say when we edit that, compulsory we need to pass the feedback ID. Why? Because it is understanding Power Automate understand that since this is a primary key, so compulsory we need to pass the value. But it is Power Automate failed to recognize that it is auto number, so user should not pass it. So what's the solution for that? What we are going to do here, we are going to alter table design and just make a flow work. Why? Because flow is basically we just need to pass the value and it will execute automatically. So here we cannot do any changes. So what we will do, click on that, and here we are deleting that feedback ID column. So let's right click it and delete. So but since it is a primary key, so default, and it is a default column, so we cannot delete it. So what's the solution for that? So what we can do, here we will provide email ID as a primary key instead of foreign key, and we will store it. Why? Because once the student is already registered, then we are not asking them feedback. So if they are registered, then we are taking their feedback, or if they are registering, after the registration we are taking feedback. So what we will do here, we will click on edit column, and here we will write email underscore ID, and instead of auto number we will select plain text and click on save. Now you may have a question, can we keep feedback ID as a plain text? Yes, you can do, but in Power Automate, every time you need to pass a different feedback ID. Why? Because since it is a primary key, and if you are inserting any value which is same for second row or third row, so still it will generate an error. So the reason is that I am just making it email ID as a primary key, and remove this email ID which contains the foreign key. So delete this column. So email ID foreign key column is deleted, and rating as it is, but for that we need to change the design in a flow also. Let's delete that action and add again new action. Okay, same action but with some different parameter. So select Dataverse, add new row, select the table. Let's say here I am selecting feedback table, and could not find, let it be wait, an email ID. This time we are passing the email ID which we are taking it from Microsoft CoPilot, and in advanced option we are writing a feedback variable star. So we alter with the flow, click on save. Okay, so flow runs successfully. Let's test it again. Okay, so manually testing. Okay, so let's this time. So this time I am giving my email ID, and let's say star 5 star. Okay, and run flow and click on done. So our flow runs successfully. The previous error, as I explained you, in Power Automate there is no way to identify auto number column. So compulsory we need to pass it, but when we are inserting it, Dataverse generate an error. So our flow runs successfully, and let's refresh this and check it, the data is inserted or not. Okay, so data is inserted. Now this flow runs successfully. Now let's add this flow. What is the name of the flow? Flow underscore feedback into the chatbot. Okay, so we are done with converting a choice into the string variable, and click on that and call an action. and then just check it, flow student registration, flow email check, flow increment counter, flow feedback ago. But it is showing that it's 27 minutes ago, so it's not good idea. So what we will do, we will refresh this page, and then we will add that flow. Why? Because the flow which we have edited, it is just before 2 to 3 minutes, but here it is showing it is before 27 minutes, so maybe it is showing the old version. So let me click on that, save it again. We already saved, but just for I'm saving it double time. Okay, and here let this page refresh, and let's hide this. Okay, let's add the flow again by clicking on call and action, and here it is showing that 3 minutes ago, so then it's okay. So we are adding the flow which will add the feedback. Now email ID, what we are passing, we have taken already a variable called variable_email, so that email we are passing. And let's say here rating, I am selecting rating _star _str. Okay, so here this is a type of choice, but this is a type of string, so that I am passing. And then data will be inserted, but since the flow is not returning anything, so output is set to 0. And let's save that flow, and then we will test it. Okay, so it's saved successfully. Let's double check whether the flow is saved or not here, otherwise we need to again add it. Okay, so it's saved and it is displaying the message, thank you and have a good day. So let's test it. Okay, so let's say here, hi, this we are writing, or we are taking feedback for new registration type, or we are taking feedback from the student, those who are registering. Okay, so click on new registration, provide your full name. So this time I am giving name, let's say. Okay, name I have given, then it will ask for contact number. I'm giving dummy contact number, email address, then it will ask, I think, yes, educational qualification. So let's say post graduation, and then it will ask, do you want to register for training and workshop? Okay, so it is asking, do you want to register for training or workshop? So let's say if I say yes. Okay, and please give me rating by selecting. So let's say I'm giving 3 star. Okay, so flow runs successfully, and it is displaying the message that thank you, have a good day. Now let's check it whether that feedback is inserted in a feedback table or not. So let me just go back, and I should not go back, I just need to refresh it. Automatically it will display. Here see, the feedback that student give, it is registered, and it also registered in the table called student table. Let me go back and go to the custom table and click on that student table. Now you can see that person registration is also done. So I hope you understand that how we can design a feedback flow and how we can add it into our chatbot. So basically we are done with the process. Now let me just summarize the process what we have done. We are asking when a user say hi or hello to the chatbot will ask new registered or already registration. So if someone select new registration, then it will ask the registration detail, and then it will ask that do you want to register for training or workshop, and based on the answer it will ask that feedback. So user will give a feedback or student will give feedback, and it will register. In another case, if students select already registered, in that case chatbot will ask them to provide their registered email ID. And if student fail to give their registered email ID 3 times, then chatbot will ask to register. And otherwise, if they give correct email ID, in that case they will ask, do you want to register for training and workshop? And if they say yes, then they will redirect, chatbot will give link to the user, and using that link, student can register for training or workshop based on given website link. Now our chatbot making is done. We are designing with the different topics. We are done with different questions and answer and designing with the flow. Now the next thing is that I want to add that chatbot in my Power App. So how can I do that? You cannot add your chatbot directly. Why? Because if you save it and you try to add it, it is not possible. So if the chatbot is done, you need to publish it. So how to publish it? So click on the CoPilots here. Now this chatbot project we have made. So select that, click on these 3 dots and go to demo website. Once you go to the demo website, since I have already published, so you can see that. But if it is not published, then what you will see? Let me show you. Now this is Teams email validation. It is just generally for understanding purpose. If you click on that website, now here you should see that publish. So you should publish that. Once the publish is done, then you will able to see that in demo website. Here your CoPilot has not published yet. Since I already published it, so you need to click here and publish it. So let's go back to that and click on that Goto demo website. And since your chatbot will look like that. Now see here, sorry, something unexpected happened. We are looking into error code. Okay, so something is erroneous is happened, but it's okay. If you say hello, now it's generating an error. That means something is there that I cannot directly publish it into a website. But don't worry, we still can make it. Still we can use it in Power App. So let's see that how. So I already published it. So let's go to the Power App. Here, click on chatbot. Let me zoom little bit. Okay. Now click for chatbot for inquiry or chatbot project. But this is the demo project which I have created before. But here recently I have created this chatbot. So it is showing that it is published. But you know here 4 chatbots actually I have made, but these 2 chatbots are unpublished. So click on that. Your chatbot is added. Now here you can use it. Let's see how. Let me just properly set the design of that height and width, not design. And let me add a heading here. And then ask your question. Okay, and here let's say me made a font little bit big, and let me design a proper background color, and let me align it at the center. And here, okay, it's a simple design I am creating. Let's save this and run it. Let's say if I say hello. Now see here, whatever we have designed, we are integrating it in a Power App. So let's say I am selecting already registered. So it is asking me, please provide your registered email ID. So let's say I am giving my email ID. I am providing just dummy email which I have already registered using that. So do you want to register for training or workshop? If it is say yes, then it is saying that you can register using the following link. So you know, in this project you will learn how you can design your own chatbot and add that chatbot into Power App. So you can make your power up more stronger or more useful by making virtual agent for your project. So I hope this project is useful for you. Thank you for choosing KnowHow Academy as a source of your IT knowledge. We are always here to help you to navigate to the tech world. If you have any question, do not feel hesitate to reach out us. Stay curious and keep learning.